Acknowledge me, the one.
Acknowledge me. Hello, everyone. Happy WrestleMania Day 2 and Day 1 was yesterday. My three favorites in the WWE are all champions again. Becky Lynch is the Intercontinental Champion again. Liv Morgan is the greatest female wrestler and the newest Women's World Champion and the best of all time. And my tribal chief, Roman Reigns, is the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. Oh, how sweet it is. People have their thoughts on WrestleMania. I thought it was a success because my three favorites all regained the titles that they truly deserved from the beginning. Roman Reigns, Liv Morgan, and Becky Lynch, all champions once again. And as Liv Morgan would say, if you don't like it, you can go cry about it. And you can all acknowledge that. Well, on the footy side of things, cameo.com/CooperG. Want me to roast a friend, wish them a happy birthday, anything at all. Cameo.com/CooperG. And if you know any AFL, AFLW players or any state league players, and you want to see them on the channel in a Golden Challenge and or interview, please do send me a message and try to get something sorted. Now, got a lot to talk about. That's why I mentioned that stuff straight away. Because the world famous segment, Scoops Goes Bang, is going to be one of the most explosives in quantity of all time. We've got the Elijah Hollands situation and how Carlton mishandled that situation. We've got Kane Cornes running his mouth yet again, and Kane Cornes is about to be roasted like he's never been roasted on this channel before. He's going to be absolutely roasted. The umpiring in the Saints game at the end, that holding the ball decision they gave on Sam Flanders was nothing short of a disgrace. And, of course, Melbourne being protected at the very end with that Harvey Langford free kick he got at a very important stage of the game where they won by under a goal. And that should not have been a free kick. Andrews marked it. And lo and behold, Melbourne won. And that was within the last 5 minutes of the game. So let's start off. Oh, yeah, and Supercoach Talk, Team of the Week, review the round just gone and upcoming and everything in between. Right. Please welcome that world famous segment. It's world famous. Check the analytics. It says so. Yeah. Scoops Goes Bang. First of all, okay, St Kilda were robbed at the end of the game. The umpiring throughout the game was pretty shit. And people want to bring up a stupid comment about last week saying, oh, you were happy with the umpiring last week. Again, let me educate you all. You need a history lesson, okay? Alira kicked the ball to Filippo, which resulted in a goal in the last quarter. Key moment of the game about 5 to 10 minutes ago. That's on Alira and Port Adelaide. That's not on the umpires. I mean, Mitch Owens have his jumper pulled by Jordan Sweet like that in the ruck where it's been pulled. That's on Jordan Sweet and not the umpires. Naz been pushed after he kicked the ball. That's on the Port player that pushed him, not on the umpires. Okay? I went through all the examples so many times before. All that was Port Adelaide's fault. Okay? Simple as that. And if Jason Horne-Francis doesn't know how to stand the mark, stand means stand. Okay? So I don't want to hear comparisons of last week you were happy. They were umpired and adjudicated correctly in those moments of those examples I just gave you. There was no controversy in it. Maybe Port Adelaide should know how to play football and actually not give away stupid free kicks and learn how to stand a mark, hey? And learn not to turn it over in the middle of the ground to Filippo, who gets a goal from 50 and win us the game, essentially, or locks it in. That's on Port Adelaide, okay? That's all on the Port Adelaide Football Club. This week, however, the umpires in Adelaide were, again, nothing short of a disgrace. Sam Flanders clearly handballs the ball. Don't give me this bullshit that he didn't handball it, he dropped it. Explain to me how the ball from the handball went straight into Brad Hill's lap and he ran straight through the middle in open space. Key moment of the game. Okay? We lost by a point. Okay, remember that. We lost by a point. They got a goal from that free kick, which Neil Bullen or Pete Ling got, which then led to a Tex Walker goal. But that should not have been there. There was 2 minutes to go. If that's not paid, St Kilda win the game by 5 points. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Because Mitch Elman's got a goal with about 10 seconds to go. Therefore, we would have won the game by 5 points. So St Kilda were robbed right in front of me. Now you're going to say, oh, well, how do you know Mitch Elman's was going to get a goal? Because he did. Okay, that's what you will be saying to me. And I'll say to you, how do you know that Brad Hill's kick, streaming through the middle in open space, he wasn't going to set up a player who's going to have a shot at goal and maybe get the goal, or run in himself, or pass it on to someone, or handle over the top, and all that happens, and someone scores. We only would have needed some score to equal or win the game in that moment alone, let alone the Mitch Elman's moment, okay? So we were robbed right in front of me. Now, again, like I said, people want to bring out the Port Adelaide game last week and the umpiring supposedly in our favour, but you could be nothing further from the truth. The fact of the matter is, we won that game against Port Adelaide fair and square. This game, we were robbed right in front of me. Now, people want to bring up, oh, well, maybe if you didn't have a 28-point lead, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I know. But that's got nothing to do with this umpiring call on Sam Flanders. Now, last time I also checked, they got 28-odd points up themselves and lost it because it got level. And then this bullshit happened. So, yes, we should have maintained the lead we had. We had a great comeback when they had a 28-point lead or so as well. But that's all completely irrelevant to this one individual call. St Kilda were robbed right in front of me. The standard of umpiring continuously is shit each and every single week. And it will never change because the umpires never admit they're wrong. The AFL never admit when they're wrong. Look, this was going to be the headline act of Scoops Goes Bang, and it still is, but it's equal with every other Scoops Goes Bang I'm going to now talk about. Okay? Now, Carlton and Elijah Hollands. Like I made a comment on Facebook, professional comment. We wish Elijah Hollands, I was going to say Elijah Hewitt, Elijah Hollands, all the best. Hopefully he's okay, and he can get through this and be back out on the footy field very soon. We wish Elijah all the best. I really do. And hopefully he's okay and getting all the support he needs. But how Carlton have handled this is nothing short of a disgrace. Now, we've heard mixed reports from journalists. We've heard Carlton speak, the AFL speak. What's the Carlton guy's name? He was at Port Adelaide, Chris Davies speak, and everything like that. Michael Voss after the game and everything like that. Everyone involved at Carlton that had any communication with Elijah Hollands during the game, before the game, and after the game, but more importantly, before and during the game, okay? As fans, because obviously I don't support Carlton, as a fan of the sport, we all had concerns for Elijah Hollands. He didn't look himself. Now, fans took footage of this pre-game and during the game, and as soon as the game was done, he didn't look well. Now, I'm not going to speculate because it's none of our business to do so. First and foremost, we should be caring about Elijah Hollands and hoping he's okay. And apparently he's getting the support, and that's good. But on Carlton's end, there should be heads to be responsible for this. That's Michael Voss. That's the doctors. That's even some of the players, if not all the players. You heard what Collingwood players may or may not have said about Elijah Hollands or overheard. I mean, everyone could tell. Fans took footage during the game. He wasn't doing things that were normal. Now, again, I'm not speculating on what happened, whether he was drinking or anything else. That's none of my business. It's none of your business, to be honest. Everyone that's not involved directly in this should be going, you know what? We wish him all the best. And Carlton people who were involved should be sacked effective immediately and hand their resignation papers in. That's Michael Voss. I mean, Chris Davies has admitted after the events that, you know, there was some fault of theirs. Okay? He admitted there was some fault. But what I say to this is it's unacceptable. It's unacceptable. What I said on this piece with Elijah Hollands on Facebook, that, as I said, Chris Davies have now admitted that they were aware of Elijah Hollands was struggling during the game. When asked why was Hollands not removed from the game, Graham Wright said, "We are looking into that right now. That process has started." This is pathetic from the Carlton Football Club, yet again failing to do the right thing. Okay? And all these mixed messages, I mean, anyone with a brain would know that he wasn't okay. Right? So, how can we notice this and not the club themselves? Carlton absolutely should not have let Elijah Hollands play. How others can see he wasn't okay, but yet Carlton did nothing. Carlton have a lot to answer for, and the people who thought he was good to play should be handing in their resignation papers and or sacked effective immediately. So everyone couldn't see that he wasn't okay. Yet, apparently, Voss and everyone involved at Carlton at the ground thought and knew what was going on. They could see he wasn't great and he was struggling, to quote Voss and Carlton. So why did you keep him on? It wasn't just a bad game. He was going through stuff, clearly, you could tell. Why was he past fit to play, mentally and physically? Why did he step foot on that field after that pre-game warm-up? Now, we can't talk about in the rooms before the game. We can't speak about that because we didn't see any footage. Unless people have footage to say otherwise, I haven't seen it, I don't think. From memory, anyway. But we saw pre-game footage that people filmed at the game. Carlton players were distancing themselves from Elijah Hollands. So they all knew something was up there. Why wasn't it on the responsibility also of Patrick Cripps, the leadership group at Carlton, to go, "Hey, mate, you're all right"? And even if he said he was okay, you could tell he wasn't. When they go up to Voss and go, "Hey, mate, look, he doesn't look well. He shouldn't be playing." Now, apparently, according to his dad, according through Tom Morris, that Elijah drove himself to the game. Thank God he's okay and no one was hurt while he drove there. How Carlton allowed him to play is nothing short of a disgrace. Carlton are a fucking mess. Apologies for swearing, but they are a mess. On and off the field. Voss should not be the coach for a whole range of reasons, not because of this, but this has to be the final nail in the coffin. How he allowed him to stay on the field. Now, during the game, he spoke to him. Before the game, I'm sure he spoke to him. He spoke to him after the game. How Carlton haven't really taken any responsibility for this and have shown to try and cover up crap is nothing short of a disgrace. Now, Graham Wright yesterday said some things, which I just mentioned. Everyone involved, every doctor, the coach, the leadership group at Carlton, all need to pay through suspensions, through fines, through sackings. A doctor who saw him and thought that was okay to play him, out the door. I don't care if you're a 50-year veteran and you're the best doctor going around. How you could see him and go, "Yeah, he's all good." Mate, I'm not a doctor. The internet, most of the internet aren't doctors, and we could all figure it out. How could the club who see him on a day-to-day basis, his brother, Ollie, everyone at Carlton, how could they not notice anything? And if they did and they said nothing, they look just as bad as Carlton are for trying to defend the bullshit. We wish Elijah all the best and hope he gets all the help he needs and he's back out there soon enough. But how Carlton aren't having any people as of right now be removed from the club and the AFL for this and how they've handled this is nothing short of a disgrace. Everyone involved at Carlton, they're a mess, not just with this situation, but they're choking after halftime. How they talk crap. Their fan base is absolutely feral. I mean, look at all these fan channels outside of Terry, who I respect and can appreciate. And he's been on here before. He's a good man, Terry. Every other Carlton fan channel are basically either defending Carlton or not saying anything. Some Carlton fan channels were, let's just say, not, defending Elijah Hollands. And those channels and that particular channel, they know who they are because I live rent-free in their head. They have to talk about me on their own platform. You are a complete and utter disgrace. How about actually having some bloody compassion for not only one of your own, but anyone in that situation, taking the piss out of it, bringing up certain things you think he's on or has done, is nothing short of a fucking disgrace. I will swear, because I cannot believe those people just do things for clicks and views. If you're anyone taking the piss out of this situation, you are also nothing but a disgrace. Mental health is a very important thing. How do you think he's feeling right now? Do you think taking the piss out of him, writing horrendous things about him online, about potential things you think he was on? What happens if that was inaccurate, what you're all saying? And, you're affecting him mentally. Think before you speak. I would not sit here and have to listen to the dribble that so many morons on the internet write about anyone. And in this situation in particular that I'm talking about, is pretty pathetic. I mean, even people that were posting those clips, like, I could have done that, but I'm not going to, because I don't do this for clicks and views. I have compassion and care for people in Elijah's situation. Maybe you all should do the same. Think what you're saying about him now and how that may affect him. Pull your head in, and Elijah, wish you all the best, mate. And to the Carlton people who allowed him to play, out the door. Out. You should be out the door. And goodbye. And never to be seen at that football club or any football club again. Carlton treat their own fan base like shit. Their fan base treat their players like shit. They did it with Curnow to Konings and Silvani as well. They brought in Will Hayward and Ollie Florent. They didn't want them, some of these Carlton fan channels. They didn't want them at the club, and now they suck up to them. Don't pretend. I'm sure those players know you were bagging them during the trade period. You didn't want them. And the moment Curnow to Koning and Silvani went out the door officially, you bagged them like crazy and show no respect. Last time I checked, TDK and Silvani and Charlie Curnow having fun at their new clubs, and why Carlton are still a miserable basket case mess of a football club on and off the field. We're not done at all, ladies and gentlemen. Not even close. So, Kane Cornes. You were going to be, for 2 weeks in a row, not going to be mentioned on this segment. Well, lo and behold, when you take or have shit takes, I mention you. Kane Cornes, your comments towards Ross Lyon and saying we haven't improved is nothing further from the truth. Now, you were bagging St Kilda again, going, oh, they've beaten nobody. GWS were a top 5 side last year, dumbass. Collingwood were top 4 last year, dumbass. Adelaide finished top of the ladder last year and had a double chance, dumbass. And Brisbane, Kane, with a back-to-back premiers. And you wanted to go in there and say to Kingy, and I love how Kingy bit back at your crap. I'm glad he didn't suck up to you because you're his mate. He's your mate and all that crap. Like you were saying, Adelaide are 9th and Brisbane are 10th and, Collingwood are like 11th and, everyone we lost to is like 8, 9, 10, 11. And the team we beat's like 14th in the Giants. Kane, if you really believe the shit you spew, I have nothing to say to you, but you're a clown. And then when Kingy bit back at you and said, oh, so I guess North Melbourne's good, Kane, because North Melbourne are 6 right now, because you said that the ladder last year doesn't mean shit for this year. So then, okay. So then when Kingy said to you, Kane, oh, well, North Melbourne are 6 right now, they're no good. They're not going to be good at the end of the year. I guess you have to include them because they're in the top 6, Kane, right now, going off your logic or your listing with the Saints teams that we've lost are in their position on the ladder. Then Kane said, oh, no, they don't count. They're not good. Well, no, you're contradicting yourself. First you say, oh, no, you can't mention those teams because they're not in the top 8 right now. Or they're just scraping in or out of the 8. And now that North are in the 8, you want to say that you just continue to bash St Kilda. Brisbane are the reigning premiers, back-to-back premiers. Adelaide were top 4. Collingwood were top 4. GWS were top 5. All the teams we've played this year, bar Melbourne and Port, were top 5 or back-to-back premiers from last year. We've played back-to-back games in Adelaide. We've played in Sydney already. We've got a trip to Darwin in a few weeks against the Suns. Don't talk to us about having not improved. We've literally, Kane, last year we would have got smashed by Brisbane, smashed by Adelaide, beaten by Collingwood, beaten by the Giants. All those games, we either won or were in every bloody game leading at 3/4 time early in the last quarter against Brisbane. And it was the last 10 minutes against Brisbane. It was the bullshit Flanders decision that cost us the game from an umpiring. Collingwood, we didn't capitalise on our inside 50s. Melbourne, we didn't kick straight. Well, the other way around, I can't remember. But whatever. It was all those reasons why we lost. The point is we have improved. Because in years gone by, the Brisbane game, the Adelaide game away, the Collingwood game, we would have got smashed. And we haven't. Our percentage reflects that. You wanted to try and reference our percentage. And you were like, oh, it's not good, haven't improved. Well, our percentage currently is about 7% better than last year. So how's that not improvement, Kane? We played the best teams from last year, all of them essentially right now. And we'd be competitive and in games beating them and very close to the final siren in all those games, or one like we did against the Giants. And they came back late with a late surge and we held on. So, Kane, this is what I have to say to you. Again, we literally came within earshot of 4 top 5 sides from last year and beat one of them being the Giants. And we have improved. Because last year we'd be beaten badly by the Lions, Crows and Pies. And we're close and leading in all those games. Your typical St Kilda bashing. Piss right off. Our money, you bring it up. Well, you want to bring out the players on big money. Well, Sam Flanders on the weekend had an amazing game. 30 disposals, 90% disposal efficiency, 7 clearances and score involvements. And you want to say, oh, you lost 9, 10, 11 and beat like 12th and 14th. Kane, literally shut up. If you think Brisbane will finish 9th, Crows will finish 10th and Pies will finish 11th, then you are simply a moron. Simple as that. Brisbane are the back-to-back premiers, you clown. Brisbane were top 4. Sorry, Crows were top 4. So were Brisbane. Pies were top 4. Giants were top 5. Brisbane were top 4. And the reigning back-to-back premiers. Stay in your lane and worry about your shit, trash football club, Port Adelaide, who barely have any talent on their list. And 2 of those 3 players that have talent, 2 of them won't be here. Or 1 of them won't be there at the end of the year, Zach Butters. And the year after that, Mitch Georgiades will be out of here. Kane, you contradict yourself. You used to be someone that talked a lot of facts. Now you spew bullshit. Pathetic. Lift your game. For once, Kane. For once. Pathetic. Right. Now, Harvey Langford and the Melbourne Football Club. Great win against the Brisbane Lions. No one's going to take that away from you. But you shouldn't have got the win. Because Harvey Langford should not have got a free for a block or whatever the hell it was, a shepherd, whatever it was. Okay. Harris Andrews got the mark. I think it was Ryan Lester. That wasn't a block or a shepherd or whatever the hell they called it for. It was with about 5 minutes to go. Within 5 minutes, you won by a few points and you got a goal from it. So you didn't deserve the victory. Another example of shit umpiring again, each and every single week. The umpiring is a joke and always has been and probably always will be, unfortunately, a joke. You know, we want change to the AFL. Greg Swan's come in, and he's got a lot of work to do. To the umpires in that game and everything like that, lift your game is pathetic. Hope you all enjoyed that edition of the world-famous segment, Scoops Goes Bang. Now, Zach Butters has been cleared of that fine for abusive language towards the umpire, Mr. Foot. Interesting. Right, now it's time to go through my Scoops round 6. AFL Team of the Week. Alrighty. From the back line, the pockets, Callum Wilkie, the best key defender in the competition. The other pocket, Caleb Daniel. Full back, Jacob Wiedering. Half back line, the flankers, Jack Sinclair. And Archie Roberts, and half back, Harris Andrews. Wingers, Zach Merritt and Zach Butters. Centerman, Matt Rao. Half forward line, the flankers, Paul Curtis and Jai Amos. Full forward, not full forward, centre half forward, Jeremy Cameron. Kick 10, a lazy 10. Forward pocket, Jack Higgins. And Mr. Watson from the Hawks. Full forward, Tex Walker. Ruck, Brodie Grundy. Rovers, Mr. N. Dacos and Harry Sheasel. The interchange, Sam Flanders. Rowan Marshall. Jamie Elliott. Jaden Laverde. And Jack Ross. The emergencies, the Riccardi party, Jake Riccardi. Christian Petrarca. The 300-game superstar and 2-time Brownlow medalist, congratulations, Lockie Neal. Mr. Blakey, Mr. Gothard, and Clayton Oliver. Now, reasons for all these selections, shall we? So, on the screen for you all to see right here, right now. So, Wilkie, the best game of all time for a key defender. 31 disposals, high efficiency, 16 intercept possessions, over 10 marks, about 5 intercepts in the first quarter alone, and 12 1%ers. There's no doubt about it that Cal Wilkie earned a spot in this team, and it was the best individual performance of the year. Now, Tex Walker did kick 5 goals, and yes, he did make the team, his direct opponent in a way, but 2 of those goals weren't on Wilkie, and one of those was that bullshit goal he got at the end, so that doesn't count. So he only got, and that wasn't on Wilkie anyway, so that was 2 goals on Wilkie, essentially. But his numbers outweighed that by the length of the Flemington Straight. Jacob Wiedering, 22 disposals, like 10 intercepts and a lot of marks, and I think 3 contested marks, maybe 2. So he'd earned a spot. Caleb Daniel had 32 disposals at high efficiency. And he had 7 score involvements and a goal assist, so he earned his spot there, Caleb Daniel. Jack Sinclair, 35 disposals. He had 17 disposals in the first quarter, the equal most of anyone this year, which is simply amazing. Harris Andrews had like 12 intercept possessions and 1%ers and about 20 disposals and about 10 marks or so. So he earned a spot as well. Zach Merritt had like a goal and 30. Zach Butters a goal and 34. Matt Rowell, 35 disposals. And a lot of those contested and tackles like only Matt Rowell can. Paul Curtis kicked 6. Jeremy Cameron kicked 10. Jai Amos kicked 5. Don't even need to debate why. Same with Mr. Watson got 5. Tex got 5. And Jack Higgins kicked 4 goals. All at important stages of the game, early and in the second half as well. Brodie Grundy is without a shadow of a doubt the best ruckman clearly this year. Don't give me Max Gawn or anyone else because it's clearly Brodie Grundy. When Brodie Grundy consistently has 20-plus disposals every game and 30-odd hitouts or more each and every week for a bunch of those contested, a lot of scoring involvements, a goal every game, and like 10 clearances a game, you can't tell me otherwise. Now, Mr. Dacos, he was good in the first 3 quarters, but that last quarter was simply phenomenal. Kicked a goal, I think, and 12 disposals. Mr. Dacos and Dacos, 3 votes. Harry Sheasel kicked a goal, had 39 disposals. He was awesome for the Roos in their big win over the Tigers. Rowan Marshall, I mean, when TDK was on the field in the first quarter and a bit, in the ruck, Rowe was up forward, but still managed to get 25 disposals when he played permanent ruck in the second half when TDK was injured. To have 25 disposals and like 10 clearances, bloody impressive from Rowan Marshall. Sam Flanders, 30 disposals at 90% efficiency, like 7 clearances and score involvements. Yeah, Kane, not talking about Sam Flanders this week, are you, buddy? Jamie Elliott, big moment player late in the game, 3 goals, 16 disposals, earned a spot on the bench. Jalen Laverde had about 20 disposals and 10 intercept possessions, deserved a spot. And Jack Ross, I was very close to putting him in last game. I think it was last game. This week he had 2 goals and 26 disposals and about 8 clearances, or 7 it might have been, and like 7 scoring bombs as well. So Jack Ross earned a spot this week. And I wanted to put him in last week, and now he definitely gets in this week. Riccardi was the next forward, along with Phoenix Gothard, who I will give credit. He got 2 goals and 20 touches. Petrarca, 3 and 24, and Lachie Neale, 31 disposals, were very, very close, but just missed out. And Blakey and Oliver were rounding out the emergencies. Comment down below your thoughts on my team of the week. One thing I will say with team of the weeks, it doesn't matter how your team goes. Obviously, it helps if they win. But it's individual performances that get you in the team of the week, not how your team goes. It never has been, and in my eyes, it never will be. And my votes are the same. It's the best 3 individuals on the ground. The Scoops Medal, the big extravaganza show at the end of the year. Comment down below your thoughts on my team of the week for this week. It was pretty hard to pick the forward line. Like, the names were obvious, but like a few names that couldn't make it, like Petrarca, I probably would have put on the half forward flank, and Gothard as well. It was just very hard to put players in the team of the week this week that, didn't kick many goals. And that's how some of them didn't make it. Now it's time to go through my Supercoach talk. I scored 2,107. I'm now in the top 25%. Actually, might be top 27% now. I might have miswrote that. No, I am top 25%. Okay. So, look, I'm happy with that score, but some players, again, gee whiz, some premium players really pissed me off, and all the rookies that I had on the field shit the bed this week. So let's go through the team, shall we? So we had, where are we? So Sinclair got 119. That was great. Naz got 70. He had a good game. He had 28 disposals, but Supercoach, he got robbed. It should have been on 100. Josh Waller got 106 and should have got 120, so he was robbed. Jack Sinclair, if his name was Marcus B, his stats would have got him to 160 plus. 35 disposals at like 90%, 91%, and a bunch of score involvements. It's just bullshit how he didn't get over 150. Same with Worrell, how he didn't get 130 or just under that was ridiculous. Jai Sarong got 48, bit of whatever. He's normally got high scores, so you got to limit your expectations sometimes on the rookies, but, it is what it is there. Jacob Farrow had 61 points, bit of whatever, solid score. Lockie Jarks got 34. I'm really pissed off with how he scored there. And, of course, my 2 bench rookies, Sam Grill, 66, and Josh Lindsay, 75. I'm really happy with that. But in terms of this week on the field, they were on the bloody bench. So I had the wrong rookies on the field this week. There's so many good rookies, though, in the back line, and there's a lot of defender mids like Blum Myers and Jack Carroll now as dual position players when that's all come in this week. Going into the midfield, Zach Butters got 154, so I was really happy with that. Marcus B got 66, absolutely shit. Should not even have got 66 points. Apparently there's some doubt for him this week. He's starting to really piss me off even more than ever before, in particular in my Supercoach team. So I might piss him off, especially if he doesn't play this week, because he's going to drop some more money. Again, he's 648 at the moment, could be 600K when his next game is all said and done. Mr. Dacos, 140 was my loophole. That's why Finn McRae has a captaincy on him. So I got his 140, so I was really happy with Mr. Dacos. Lachie Neale, 111, really happy with that. Willem Durst for 74, pretty solid. Jagger Smith, 64. I was originally going to trade him out. Then I had to undo it with all this other bullshit that was happening with players out and everything like that. Milan Murdoch was finally back and got 85. Great to see his price went up to 199K. Let's just essentially say 200,000 because he's 199.9K. I got Angus Anderson at 64, so I did not field Blamires or Carroll. Blamire 61, it's all right. Carroll 32, not good enough, and Angus Anderson 64. So now we move on to my rucks, which has always been my strength this year. Brodie Grundy and Luke Jackson both had massive scores. Brodie Grundy got 136, Luke Jackson 125, Lockie McAndrew making coin on the bench 79, really happy with that. Oscar Steen did well. I don't have him, but did well this week. But hot and cold of rookies. 1 week they'll go good and 1 week they'll go shit, especially rookie rucks when they're playing with an experienced ruck like Darcy Cameron. But Jackson 125, Grundy 136. 136 for Grundy, 125 for Jackson. Jackson was a late inclusion into my team before round 1, so I'm really happy I stuck with putting him in and not went with someone else who was a lot more expensive. McAndrew 79, he's 356K now. So if you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, that's why I read some of these prices out. Harry Sheezel, 141. Awesome. Sam Flanders, 117. Awesome. Zach Bailey only got 52. Absolutely shit. I'm not happy with that. Rochelle, I just brought in and he got 68. Pathetic. He did get 20 disposals, so probably should have got 80-odd points, 85, so he's robbed a little bit. Mateus Filippo only got 40 points. Not really thrilled with that. Leo Lombard got 45. Pathetic. Lockie Dobson, 32 points. I never wanted him in the first place. Had West Coast actually played Finn McRae, I never would have had Lockie Dobson in my bloody team. So thanks for that, Eagles. And Todd Marshall got 76. He did really well, and Watkins was a loophole. If Lombard went shit, I would have taken Dobson's points, and thank God I didn't, because I didn't have any faith in Dobson to get 45. He should not even be in the team. But comment down below your thoughts on my team. Some trades I'm looking at, without looking at the break-evens off the top of my head, Sarongs and Lockie Jarks, they're the guys you're probably got to look at next. Lombard as well, if you got him. Todd Marshall's gone up okay. So of the rookies I have, they're probably the rookies you look at getting rid of, but we'll have to wait and see. But comment down below your thoughts on my team of the week. Now, if you want to join my Scoops fan club, Supercoach code, it's still available to join. 267549 is my Scoops fan club Supercoach code that you can join and see if you can compete against the best. I'm not having the greatest scores in terms of ladder position in the league, but I think I dropped 7 too, so I'm not entirely thrilled with that. But yeah, some people are getting lucky with their scores, but look, see how we go. All right, now I can't speak. Now let's go to reviewing the round 6 game, shall we? So it started all the way back on Thursday night, which was Carlton and Collingwood, I think it was. Yep. Carlton 83, Collingwood 88. Collingwood by 5 points. Now, again, we feel for Taylor Byrne, who had the shot after the siren and missed that. But that's not on him why they lost. Obviously, that moment is, but, it's what led to that moment. And Carlton choked again. Collingwood were pretty bang average for 3 quarters, and I would be concerned if I'm Collingwood with the way you played for 3 quarters against a team that, yes, chokes after halftime, and they did that in typical Carlton fashion. But Collingwood, you only really miss Darcy Moore now. So it's concerning that you can just struggle to beat a side off 1 quarter. Yes, that's impressive that you can still beat a team by playing average in 1 quarter, but it's Carlton. If it wasn't for Mr. Dacos' last quarter and Angus Anderson's tough contested moments and Jamie Elliott's goals in the second half, we're not talking about a Collingwood victory. We're talking about a side completely under pressure. But Carlton, they're just dog shit, which we outlined before, so I'm not going through it again. Jacob Wiedering was really good, as I said before, in the team of the week. Sam Walsh was solid. Ollie Florin as well. But yeah, for Collingwood, it was Angus Anderson again on debut in his 2nd or 3rd game now. No, this is his 3rd game this week. Jamie Elliott, Lockie Schultz is really quiet. Dan McStay was quiet. So Collingwood did what they had to do in the last quarter through brilliance from Mr. Dacos and Angus Anderson, 2 players that carried the team the whole game, really. And that's probably not a good thing if you're Collingwood, that you're relying on Dacos all the time and everything like that. He's going to get it done most of the time. But what about when he's not there? It was Carlton, and you just scraped over the line. Got the win. Taylor Byrne kicks that goal. We're having a whole different conversation. So, yeah, Carlton shit the bed again in typical Carlton fashion. That's on Michael Voss. That's on the players. It's on the club. They mishandled the Elijah Hollands thing, which we spoke about earlier. So that's on Carlton. And Collingwood, I'd be a bit concerned because Essendon are in a bit of good form at the moment the last few weeks, smashing Melbourne and just losing the Gold Coast in the way ahead for parts of that game away from home. You got Collingwood at their most vulnerable side, Essendon. This is your chance to beat one of your arch rivals on the biggest day, one of the biggest days in the footy calendar. But yeah, that's what it is for that game. Geelong 131, smashed the Bulldogs 56. Geelong by 75 points. Now, it's no secret I hate Geelong with a passion, and I'll give them credit where credit's due. They smashed the Bulldogs from start to finish, 40 points down before any Bulldogs injuries happened, okay? So I don't hear any bullshit about, Darcy doing his ACL and O'Donnell doing his hamstring and Lobb going off in the last 10 minutes and Liberatore having a concussion in the 2nd quarter or halftime or whatever it was. That all sucks, and it's not good at all. And we wish Liberatore in particular all the best because we don't know where his career lies. And Sam Darcy for his ACL recovery. But that's not why you lost. You were 40 points down before any of those injuries happened. So I don't hear any excuse that they were rattled, it's because of the injuries why we lost. You lost, again, to a side equal or higher than you on your ladder real ladder, Kane. So the concern at the Bulldogs is real. I say this every year about them, especially lately. Everyone talks about their so-called talented midfield and talented key forwards. You got no defenders. O'Donnell is shit. Gardner is shit. Buku Karmas is shit. They're all shit in the back line. All the tall players are shit. Lob is mediocre, average. Okay? Why do you think you wanted our two key defenders in Wilkie and Silvani? Because you know your team is shit and ours is good. You're jealous of our key defenders. You wanted them because you tried to poach them and you failed. And when you come up against sides equal or greater than you on your ladder prediction or factually where you are, you crumble. Hawthorn smashed by 40 points. Geelong smashed by 75 points. Oh, congratulations. You smashed up on the fucking Bombers. Congratulations. And that was on one quarter. Yes, a massive quarter, but it's the Bombers. Don't get carried away. I said that at the time. And then, look, you lost to the Bombers after quarter time. Then you got smashed by the Hawks by 40-odd points. Now you lost to Geelong by 75 points. Deep concerns of the Bulldogs continues. When the going gets tough against real teams or side equal or higher than you on the ladder, you crumble and shit the bed. Same with the Bulldogs. Talk a big game and fail, and they bully people, and they get bullied by their opposition because they're just simply not good enough. Marcus B can't handle a tag at all. Absolutely dog shit. What happens when you play Sydney this week? So you're not going to be able to break the tag again? Because James Jordan will go to him if he even plays. Unless he's scared of James Jordan. He was scared of O'Sheen Mullen. Didn't even want to go near O'Sheen Mullen. Tried to go forward and still couldn't get a kick. Went in the midfield, couldn't get a kick. Jeremy Cameron kicked 10. Amazing performance. And Bulldogs, oh yeah, one more thing. Yeah, how'd that recruiting go for your ruck stocks? Louis Emmett's a young, developing player and will take years to be AFL ready. You got rid of your backup ruck, although he's a hack, Jordan Sweet, a few years ago. So you could have done with someone of an experienced body, not an 18, 19-year-old or someone that's not a makeshift ruck. When you compete against Mitch Edwards, okay, you should be taking advantage of that. He's a young ruck as well, and he absolutely dominated against the Bulldogs rucks. None of the Dogs rucks had any answers for him. And I thought in his draft year, Mitch Edwards would be one of the good draft rucks in the competition from that moment of the people at that age group that are, joining the AFL system. Along with Alex Dodson, who's at the Saints and developing well in the VFL and had a taste of it late last year. Both Marshall and TDK, it'd be hard for him to get a game this year. But the Bulldogs fail again. No surprise. Jeremy Cameron kicked 10 was a really good one under him. Now, Graham Myers apparently might have a mystery ACL injury, so we wish him all the best if that's the case. As of this recording, I haven't heard anything bar the report the other day that he may have suffered that. So we wish him all the best if that's the case. But Geelong just dominated from start to finish. The Bulldogs are a banter club. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Going gets tough against bigger teams. They crumble. They play the bottom teams. They bully them like they bully people outside of the football club and everything like that. They're just dog shit. They get what they deserve. They think they overhype their list. They think their shit don't stink. They think they can do things and get away with it. You're just shit. And Geelong, of all clubs, who I will only credit if I have to, I'm glad they smashed you because I hope this is the reality check that you finally realise that you're just not that good. You're really not that good. Go play games in Ballarat. Go be more completely irrelevant. Who wants to go to Ballarat? I mean, okay, I went there once. Actually, been there twice, and it's shit. I went there for everyone else. I didn't go there for me. I did it for my channel because I care about my fans, unlike other content creators. I care about my fans and supporters and everything like that. Geelong gave the Bulldogs a reality check, and to be honest, I thought it was actually hilarious. Now, hopefully Geelong lose this week to whoever the hell they're playing. But, yeah, that's the most Geelong praise you'll probably ever get out of me. Telling you that right now. Now, why are we having 2 Friday night games? We had a lightning delay at the SCG. Sydney 107, GWS 66. Swans were 41 points. Don't get it twisted. This game was close. The Swans piled on late goals. It was Brodie, Grundy, that was really good. Papley, Blakey, all around a great team effort from the Swans. The Giants had Toby Green, kicked 5 behinds. We had like 26 disposals, 28 disposals. A lot of players played well. Phoenix Goldthard kicked 2 and 20, one of his best games. Oh, that's definitely his best game in his short career so far. But the Swans, they're so classy. They just get it done when it matters, and they did what they had to do. Riley Bice has been a good find for them since joining from Werribee in the VFL last year, or the year before. Played 2025 last year, obviously, at the Swans as well. Saturday, Gold Coast 119, the day of close games. Gold Coast 119, Essendon 110. Gold Coast won 9 points. Now, when Gold Coast lost to Melbourne, I thought, shit, not good, but it's a one-off. But if this is going to be a trend with Gold Coast as well, we're not going to jump the gun like some people on their clubs or clubs they're talking about. Gold Coast, no concerns. But if this continues again against another shit team, then we'll have some problems. Yes, they won, but Essendon easily could have won that. They missed so many chances at crucial moments. They were so good, the Bombers. Parrish seems like a new player now since people traded him out of their Supercoach team. Zach Merritt continues to be strong. Archie May kicks a few goals. Tom Edwards comes in the side back from an ACL, kicks a few goals again. Xavier Dersman, the X-Man, kicks a few goals and 20-odd disposals. Jay Gresham looks like a new player the last 3 weeks. They look like a new team. Archie Roberts, awesome all year and should be an All-Australian contender. Ben Mackay looks like the North Melbourne version of Ben Mackay from 5 years ago. Where's this shift in form come from? Credit to them, but they didn't win. Now, I'm not one for honourable losses, but if you're going to give someone an honourable loss, it's Essendon here. I mentioned who played well for them. For Gold Coast, it was Miller, it was Rao with 35 disposals, Petrarca. But yeah, it's a win for Essendon in a way, more than it is for Gold Coast, although the scoreboard says otherwise. Hawthorn 89, Adelaide 86, Hawthorn by 3 points. Hawthorn started so strong, and then was so shit after that. I mean, they were almost robbed because Cal Shadir should have had that goal given to him. That review was bullshit. I should have mentioned that in Script Those Bang. But I'll be talking about so many things. I'll be here for 5 hours and, I'm not doing that. So, how you had any conclusive footage to say that was clearly not touched by Ollie Wines. How he missed that's embarrassing, by the way. And they're lucky that it didn't cost them the game. Mitch Georgiades cost them the game in retrospect because he missed a goal with 40 seconds to go, 30 metres on a slide angle on the right-hand side for a right footer. And he's a dead eye in front of goal, normally Mitch Georgiades. So I'm surprised he missed it. Probably the pressure got to him, I guess. But Port shouldn't have been in that position because they should have been down by 7 points or something, or 8 points. So lucky, because this we've been talking about Poilate being handed a victory, but they didn't because Mitch Georgiades lost it for them. Butters was awesome and everything like that. But, they did what they did and had to get the job done. And Hawthorn, I wouldn't be thrilled with this. Is one of those games where you stop watching, and you move on to next week and, go from there. So, yeah, it's very interesting. So, we'll go from there. But, yeah, it's very interesting for sure. So, it's very interesting. So, yep, the next game was the Saints game. So, a high-scoring thriller, just like the other two games in a way. St Kilda, 102, Adelaide 103. Crows by 1 point. I mentioned about the Flanders thing being robbed. Brad Hill, what a revolution he's been. He's winding back to the clock. I don't even know what the hell I just said then. Winding back the clock, Brad Hill, like his prime Brad Hill in his premiership days at Hawthorn. Just awesome to watch, Brad. Doing really well. I'm proud of you. Sam Flanders was awesome. Rowan Marshall was good. Jack Higgins was good. Darcy Wilson was good. Jack Sinclair and Callum Wilkie were phenomenal. The best players on the ground by a country mile. Tex kicked 5 for the Crows. Peatling had his moments as well. But both teams had a lead. It was disappointing to lose that lead, but then they had that lead and then they lost it and the scores were level from that point. So As I said earlier, we should have maintained that lead. There's no excuses for that. But for that Flens decision at the end, like I said earlier, is complete and utter bullshit. And that's a typical game against St Kilda again from umpiring. Like Ross, I agree with Ross Lyon's statements too, by the way, about that we have improved because, like I just roasted Kane earlier, I mean, Collingwood, Melbourne, Brisbane and Adelaide losses were all very close and we're in it towards the end. So I don't hear any bullshit. And we beat Port and we beat the Giants. So we have improved. Ross is correct. Ask dumb questions, you get dumb answers, as Ross says. Simple as that. Yeah. Right. But I went through the game kind of before in Scriptures Bang, so that's all I have to say now on that. We move on to the Eagles this week. And hopefully Max King may play AFL this week or next week or VFL this week or next week. And that will be awesome. Touch wood. Hopefully Kingy can get back. It'd be one of the greatest comebacks of recent memory, especially for me, being a Saints fan. You know, we've been through so much with big name players being injured and everything like that. Kingy's been through a hell of a lot. Popped a lot of unfair criticism, and I've always defended Max King, and I always will continue to do so. When he steps foot on that football field, whether that's in the AFL or VFL again, it'll be a cool moment for us Saints fans and members, and for Max and the club. It'd be so great to see him out there. You know, his stats won't matter as much as it would at generic week, but just to see him out there and hopefully get through a game, it's just going to be so great to see. And the next goal he gets at whatever level, in particular at AFL, is probably going to be an emotional one for Max. Through all the bullshit he's had to listen to for 2 years straight or thereabouts, a year and a half. You know, I've defended him the whole way through and I will continue to do so. That goal will just be more special probably than his debut goal. We're rooting for you, Kingy, and hopefully you're out there against the Eagles this week. If not, against the Blues next week. The Sunday games, North Melbourne 130, Richmond 55. Gee, Richmond were like 2 goals 12 at one point. North were like 7 goals 3. That was the difference. Seth Campbell kicked some goals. Jack Ross was really good, but Richmond was shit. Morris Rioli's injured, done a hamstring. Tim Taranto's got a concussion, and Sam Banks has a shoulder injury. So more injury carnage at the Tigers. I'm sorry, but how any of those key forwards get a game, and some of them are now injured, so that's why they're not in the team. But Jonty Fall, again, they trialled as a backman. It's just not working. Play him in the VFL. How's he get a game? Draft pick shouldn't get you a game. I've always said this. Just because you're pick 10 or something like that doesn't mean you should get a game over pick 60. Liam Fawcett is a proof of that. Not on the weekend, but prior to that, back-to-back weeks of 3 goals each. It just shows that your draft pick number shouldn't guarantee you a spot on the list, let alone in a game. But North Melbourne, Sheasel, Parker, Daniel, Surha played in the back lines. Cooper Trentbath kicked 3 goals. Didn't have a big game, but he got 3 goals late in the game. But yeah, that's all. North Melbourne were very good and Richmond were absolutely shit. And there is worrying signs of Richmond that they're recruiting like the Bulldogs with their ruck stocks. There is no one behind Toby Nankervis. Samson Ryan's not a ruck. Oliver Hayes-Brown isn't even good in the VFL. So, yeah, that's on them. Key forward stocks, they recruited the wrong ones. Joe Shanahan was right there. So at the time, Joe Shanahan was one of the best key forwards in that draft. And in that range that he went, it was definitely worth the pick in the 15 range. So that's on Richmond and no one else but themselves. And their recruiting needs to change. It's the harsh truth. I'm sure Richmond fans will agree with me. Melbourne 104, Brisbane 102, Melbourne by 2 points. Mentioned this a bit earlier. Great game. Brisbane will be disappointed that they couldn't, for their club great, Lachie Neale, a 2-time Brownlow medalist, played his 300th game. Josh Dunkley, a premiership player also, like Lachie Neale at the club, played his 200th. Lachie Neale was awesome with 31 disposals. Josh Dunkley had his moments. Charlie Cameron played all right. Logan Morris played well in his 50th game. Melbourne, it was no real standouts for me. I just think they had a good team performance and got the job done. Latrell Pickett had another quiet game. How he gets a game just completely confuses me, but that's Melbourne for you. And the last game, West Coast and Freo. Gee, West Coast, a tale of 2 halves for them. Kick so inaccurately and don't capitalise on your opportunities. The Doggers took all their opportunities, in particular in the first half. The damage was done there. Then West Coast, their skills in the second half and their execution to deliver the ball inside 50 in open play, basic play that you shouldn't stuff up, and they stuffed it up a lot of the time. And that's what Minnie McWalter will be saying. Like, that's just really disappointing that you lose by 56 points to your arch rivals, your home game, and you just lose like that. Easy goals missing. Waterman. Players just missing from everywhere. Like, what the hell's going on? And delivery inside 50 was atrocious. But, Milan Murdoch had like 18 disposals. I thought he'd done all right. Willem Durst was really good again. For the Dockers, Dry Ames kicking 5. Caleb Sarong was solid. Jordan Clark as well. But yeah, it is what it is there. They'll be really disappointed, the Eagles, with how they went, and I'm sure they'll get to work against the Saints this week. But hopefully they don't beat us again. Otherwise, I will not be happy at all. Telling you that right now. Now, let's go preview the round 7 games to wrap us up this evening, shall we? So, to preview the round 7 games, remember cameo.com/Cooper G if you want to get a video message from me. Cameo.com/Cooper G. Birthday requests, I'm going to roast anyone, wish someone a happy birthday, anything at all. Cameo.com/Cooper G. If you know any AFL, AFLW players or any state league players and you want to see them on the channel in a Goal King challenge and or interview, please do send me a message and we'll try and get something sorted. Right. Let's preview round 7 to wrap us up, shall we? Thursday night at Marvel Stadium, 7:30 Victorian time. It's the Western Bulldogs hosting Sydney. I'll be tipping the Swans in this one. I don't know if English will be back, but that doesn't matter for me. I'm still going to tip the Swans by 35 points. Grundy will get 30 disposals and 30 hitouts and a goal or two as well. Friday night at the MCG, it's Richmond and Melbourne, the Anzac Day Eve game. Friday night, 7:40 Victorian time. I'll be tipping Melbourne in this one by 22 points. Richmond, all the injuries, so they're not going to win. Saturday, which is Anzac Day, the first game, Hawthorn and Gold Coast in Tassie, 12:30 Victorian time. I'm going to be tipping Gold Coast in this one by 12 points. Always seems to be a close game in Tassie. 3:20, the Anzac Day game at the MCG, Essendon and Collingwood. I'll be tipping Collingwood in this one by 4 points, but without any confidence whatsoever. It wouldn't shock me if Essendon win this. Port Adelaide and Geelong, Saturday night at the Adelaide Oval, 6:35 p.m. Victorian time. I'll be tipping Geelong in this one by 45 points. Saturday night in Perth, 8:15 Victorian time. It's Fremantle hosting Carlton. A lot of games on Saturday. I'll be tipping Freo in this one by 70 points. Mark Pitnet won't be playing, so Liam Reedy may be playing against his old side. And Elijah Hollands obviously won't be playing as well. Sunday, Marvel Stadium, Sunday, 1:10 p.m. Victorian time. It's the Saints and the Eagles. I'll be tipping my Saints, obviously, to win. Hopefully, Max King is back. Tom De Koning is in doubt to play. I'm going to be tipping the Saints by 26 points, and we better bloody win this, as I said, or I will not be happy at all. Brisbane and Adelaide at the Gabba, Sunday, 3:15 p.m. Victorian time. I'll be tipping the Brisbane Lions in this one by 1 point. And the final game to end round 7 is GWS hosting North Melbourne in Sydney, Sunday, 4:40 p.m. Victorian time. I'll be tipping the Giants in this one by 45 points, and North, their good winning streak will be over. Thank you all very much for tuning in this week's episode. A long edition this week because there was so much things to talk about. Again, we wish Elijah Hollands all the best in everything he's going through, and hopefully he can be back out there soon enough on the footy field. Thank you, and go the Saints!